Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. An update from Ukraine. Su-35, according to the Ukrainian military, was shot down, a Russian Sukhoi. The Russians bombed Kharkiv badly. They launched another massive drone attack. Trump blames the victim, and I will explain what that means. And that is, the attack on the airfields, on the Russian airfields, and the bombers over there gave Putin a reason to bomb the hell out of Ukraine, according to Trump. So these are the main topics for this video. So let me show you the first topic, which is Trump making a statement. And he says, Trump, Ukraine provoked Russian strikes Saturday, June 7th. Or Zelensky gave Putin, quote unquote, these are the direct words, reason to bomb the hell out of Ukraine. So I have this his statements down here. But before I go there, I have to set some premises. First, in the United States of America, you say blaming the victim. Whenever someone is the victim, and then you say if the victim reacts, then you say, hey, look at that person, he did this. Well, blaming the victim. Well, in this case, Trump definitely, according to these rules of YouTube and others, blames the victim. Because obviously the narrative goes Putin is the aggressor, Russia is the war criminal, and the other guys are just defending themselves legally, and the other ones commit war crimes. Ukrainians don't. Therefore, when Ukraine does something just, to react, like in self-defense, like Israel, for instance, then the Russians will retaliate, but the Russians' retaliation cannot be justified, obviously, because of the origin of this war. Okay, which the reasons are unprovoked aggression by Russia, and is just unjustifiable, and is just an imperialistic war waged by Russia. This is the narrative we, the baboons in the free world, must know and should know and ought to know. Nothing else extra or subtracted out of this. So when Trump comes and says, wait a second, the attack on those bombers will be an escalation, and Russia was given, or Putin was given, a reason to bomb the hell out of them, well, this is blaming the victim, obviously. So how is YouTube going to deal with that? Because you can't, hail or anything, and I understand, bad actions. You can't just promote them here, which is fine. But what if what they say are bad actions actually are good actions, but they are lying? Like in the case of Ukraine, they tell us Russia's unprovoked. Well, I disagree with that. So and I disagree not because I don't like it, but the evidence is right there. So if YouTube says, or people in general, or the mass media, the big media companies, the operators, as I call them, say, hey, just a second, that's a lie. No, you guys are lying. So Trump knows exactly what's going on here. To start with this, the Ukrainian attack, I don't think it was Ukrainian attack, but some Ukrainians were involved in the operation, but nevertheless, the Ukrainian attack of the 5 airfields, Russian airfields, destroying some Russian strategic bombers and damaging some, that was a war-like operation. There was not a civilian target over there, however you want to turn it. Now, was it good? Was it bad? That's a different story. If I fight you, I will hit you wherever hurts the most. And I'm not going to commit a crime. Stop crying, but you're gonna hit me back, which the Russians did. Unfortunately, these guys cry it was all civilian targets. I don't buy that one either. So let's go and see what Trump has to say here. Trump, Ukraine provoked Russian strikes. US President Donald Trump has suggested that Ukraine itself provoked the Russian strikes by conducting Operation Spider's Web. Responding to a journalist's question about whether Operation Spider's Web had changed his view on what advantages Ukrainian president, he's Ukrainian, always look for that, they always call him Ukrainian, not the president of Ukraine, Ukrainian, like the Jewish state, you know. You don't call the Romanian state or the German state, you call it the Jewish state. Only for Jews, only for Israel. The same here. He's the Ukrainian president only for him. He's not the American president. He's the president of the United States of America. So Zelensky, Trump said it had given Russian leader, now he's the leader, not the dictator, Vladimir Putin a reason to bomb Ukrainian cities. Well, that's not really what he said. He didn't say cities, but here it is. Quote unquote, they gave Putin a reason to go in and bomb the hell out of them. Last night, that's the thing I didn't like about it. When I saw it, I said, here we go. Now it's going to be a strike. Do you see anything about the Ukrainian cities? So Ukrainska Pravda is lying by interpretation. Because that's what it is. He didn't say he gave the reason to bomb Ukrainian cities. No, he said it's going to be a strike. And he said out of them. In general. All right, let's go to the other guys. So, liars. Should this be ever featured or allowed to be on Ukrainska Pravda on YouTube? No, never. Because they are engaging disinformation, not This is knowledgeable disinformation. So they know they are lying. Zelensky gave Putin, and I'm quoting, a reason to bomb the hell out of Ukraine. According to Trump, Ukraine. So, let's go. Well, they gave Putin a reason to go in and bomb the hell out of them again last night. That's something I didn't like about it. When I saw it, I said, here we go. Now it's going to be a strike. Got it? So we move on from this, blaming the victim. As I said, I think that NATO's strike, not NATO, how should I put it? Ukrainian strike on the bombers is legitimate target. I don't think it's legitimate that NATO organized it with some Ukrainians. Now that concludes the fact that NATO was involved. Why? They couldn't have the communication to do it in the same time. Or at least, to coordinate everything in a very short period of time. There must be coordination, direct coordination with the targets, which was not done in the fields, near the airfields. They were done from somewhere else through satellite, direct connection in real time. That's why NATO was involved. And not only, I will make a video on that one too. So that's with the first one, blaming the victim, which is the Ukrainians now. All right, well, if you want to fight for other people's interest, go ahead, Ukraine. It's your right. No, Ukraine is hijacked by the same forces who hijacked Romania, Poland, the Baltic states, Germany, France, and others. All right, let's go to the second topic. Su-35 fighter jet downed in Russia, Saturday the 7th June. All right, I think today is Tom Jones's birthday. Happy birthday, Tom Jones, Mr. Woodward. Okay, a Russian Su-35 fighter jet was shot down as a result of a successful operation by Ukraine's air forces on the Kursk front on the morning of Saturday, June 7th. Okay, this is what these guys claim. Now, I made a video, and I think this is connection with that video, not my video. This is for a few days ago, and this is the video I made. Biden confessed Russia should be destroyed, and here, F-16s plus Mirages can't compete with Su-35, exactly Su-35. And that was, according to Ignat, one of the military in, not military, I think he's a colonel, in Ukraine. So Ukrainian Air Force admits modern Russian jets trump F-16s. Got it? This is according to this guy. Go and watch this video. I made this video like 2 days ago or something. On June 3rd, 2025. And now, surprise, surprise, exactly a Su-35 fighter jet was down in Russia. Now, you have to understand, or I remind you, because you probably know, this is an economic war, where you have companies selling their product, which is the weapons. In this case, the fighter jets. So they have a stock. Lockheed Martin, I think it produces F-16, has stock market, is on the stock market. Every time their planes are down, the stock market goes down because people say, oh my God, this is a shitty airplane. Even if you have F-35 or whatever you have, it doesn't really matter. Remember when the Pakistani reportedly shot a few what's the French? Not Mirage, the other one, I can't remember the other French. Rafale. When they downed the Rafale, Indian Rafale, Rafale stock collapsed. So it's an advertising thing. So when the Russians say, and they show footage, oh, a Patriot system was down, immediately you find out the other guys come and say, oh, no, a Bukh air defense system from Russia was destroyed. Like, for instance, I don't know, S-400. Why? They're fighting, they're competing through their mass media. Why their mass media? Because these big companies, they own shares in the big media companies who own the little media companies. For instance, in Romania, there's companies like, I don't know, I can remember an example right now, not Pro TV, but there's another one, maybe Antenna One, I can remember, is owned by CNN. So everything Antenna One in Romania will say, and not Antenna One, I'm just giving an example, I can't remember if it's Antenna One or not, you can find it anyway. You see what companies, what media outlets CNN owns in Romania. So it's owned by these guys. So everything that big media company in Romania says will be aligned with CNN. It's going to say, it's not going to contradict something CNN says. So the same, CNN is owned by whom exactly? Some shareholders. Who are they? If let's say 10% of the shares are owned by Lockheed Martin, who produces F-16s or F-35, do you think that CNN will ever say anything bad about that company? No. Will say everything that says that's good for Lockheed Martin. The same, the Romanian company will say the same thing. So that's how media is. Oh no, it's an independent, owned by this, with shareholders that's free media in America. Interest. So it's very strange that in 3 days or 4 days we have an exactly Sukhoi 35. We don't have I don't know, Sukhoi 29 or something. No, 35. And they're going to show you a video. So the Ukrainians posted a video with a burning plane. Now, I don't know if that burning plane is a Sukhoi 35. I don't know if that burning plane, it happened today. I don't know if it was from last year or 2 years ago. I can't verify it, but hey, nevertheless, we'll take them for their word, right? Yeah, right. Ukrainian Air Force shoots down Russian Sukhoi 35 fighter jets. It's not impossible. It's just such a coincidence that is exactly 3 days after this Ignat makes this claim. All right, we go to the other one, Russian 35. This is the Ukrainian media, obviously. Sukhoi 35 shot down in Kursk sector. And then they have a little video. This is all you see in the big video with the Sukhoi right there. It's something burning on a field, not clear. It looks like an airplane. I'm not denying that. Looks like one. But, and this is the video, if you go on, it's just a burning thing, not a, how should I put it? Let me just play and see if this guy allow me. That's the one. Is that a Sukhoi 35? Alright, let's go to the next one. Russia launches 215 UAVs and missiles to attack Ukraine overnight, Saturday, 7th June 2025. So where these guys claim they shot down that Sukhoi, let's just finish the thing. They say it's in Kursk region. So let me show you the map. So this is the map of Ukraine right here. Kursk is right here in the northeast of Ukraine. So in this area, they claim they shot down the airplane. As I said, it's not impossible, but I need more evidence of that. I'm just reporting what's going on here. All right, let's see what these guys attacked. The Russians launched 215 aerial attackers assets to strike Ukraine on the night of 6 to 7 June, with 174 of them failing to reach their targets. So they should just stop launching them if that's the case. So they also launched 2 Iskander ballistic missiles, 6 Kh air-to-surface missiles, and 1 Iskander-K cruise missile. So 6, 7, 8, 9 missiles, and the rest are drones. The Air Force reported 87 Russian Shahed drones have been destroyed and another 80 disappeared from radar. When they say that, is it because they were suppressed, as they say here, by electronic warfare systems, or they reached the target? In addition, 6 Kh and Iskander-K missiles were either downed or disappeared from radar due to electronic warfare. Okay, well, strikes were recorded at 10 locations with debris falling in 7 more. All right, so that means 13, right? They said no, 10. 10 with 7. Okay, 17. Let's go to the next one. Ukraine air defense down 87 Russian drones, 6 guided missile, 1 Iskander-K missile. All right, let's see where they were launched. And they say right here that they launched from Bryansk, Kursk, Oryol, Milerovo, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, as well as Shauda. All right, so the same suspects here. Let me show you. So the the Russians launched their drones from this area. Bryansk, Oryol, Kursk, pam pam pam. Milerovo, right here. And then Primorsko-Akhtarsk is right across from the Sea of Azov. Right here, this is Primorsko-Akhtarsk. And here is Cape Shauda. This is the Sea of Azov. So Primorsko-Akhtarsk is right here. Cape Shauda on the Crimean Peninsula. And that is located in that area of the Ukraine map. Let's see if they tell us what they struck. And the ballistic missiles were launched from Voronezh. All right, and it says from Zaporozhye and from Rostov. So Rostov, Zaporozhye, and Voronezh. I don't think I have Rostov. It's right here. Rostov is in the east part. Rostov. Then you have Voronezh, which is right here. And then you had, I think it was Kursk, was it? Voronezh, Zaporozhye. All right, so it's going to be Voronezh, as I said, right here. Then you got Rostov in the south, right here. And Zaporozhye is this area. So these were the missiles where they were launched. Let's see if they tell us what they struck. Pakara, I'm looking down here. No, it doesn't say. We're going to go to the next one. Russian large-scale attack on Kharkiv. 3 killed, 17 injured, extensive destruction. Those Ukrainska Pravda, Kharkiv, the city of Kharkiv or Kharkov. This is located right here in the east part of Ukraine, the far east, like here. So this is the city of Kharkov. The Russians conduct an offensive in here, as they also do in Sumy Oblast here. So they attacked Kharkov. Let's see what these guys are saying. Russian forces launched a large-scale strike on the city of Kharkiv on the night of 6 to 7 using kamikaze drones, guided aerial bombs and missiles. 2 people, Here, Russian had attacked the city with 53 Shahed UAVs, 4 guided aerial bombs, and 1 missile. Got it? So this is what they say. Next one, massive Russian drone and missile strike hits Kharkiv. And they say here more than 50 explosions were heard in the city. I think Kharkiv is poorly defended. Just my opinion on that one. 50 explosions. And the same thing, 54 Shahed drones, 4 guided aerial bombs, and 1 missile. So the point is, the war will keep going. The Western arms manufacturing companies get fatter and fatter, more profits. The banks the same. They are fighting this advertising war between the arms manufacturing companies, who are obviously they depend on the good commercials in a war, because in a war you really test your abilities, your quality of your weapons. And if your weapons suck, the world sees and is not going to buy your weapons. Why would I buy your losing weapons when the other guys can take them out just like this? So I don't think the Su-35 was a coincidence after 4 days. But anyway, do I have any evidence? No, but I'm not a baboon either. And that picture and the video that was provided by the Ukrainians, for me, is not convincing, including the date. That could have been taken last year, when they destroyed, I don't know, a Sukhoi 24 or something like that, 25 or I don't know, just saying. And regarding Trump is right. Trump is right. And don't expect to be one-on-one. I destroy one city, you destroy one city. The damage could be different. We fight, you can punch me probably into my liver, I punch you in the jaw. So, oh my God, you didn't punch back in the liver. Well, I choose a different target. And the reports that the Russians hit only civilian targets, I mean, let's stop watching Hollywood movies. I stopped a long time ago. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.